This is the Fad Free Zone, and welcome to anyone who's here, everyone who's here. Welcome to finding this page, this channel, this space on the internet that I want to carve out to cut through the noise. So, as great as social media is, as great as Google is, as great as it is to have the access to so much information, sometimes the information isn't complete. Sometimes the information is being driven by external forces that are promoting it in a certain way in favor of a certain outcome, shall we say. And sometimes it's just bad. I'm just going to put it out there. It's just bad, right? So for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Danny. I am a qualified naturopath nutritionist. I'm a holistic health practitioner. I have certifications in some other areas as well, and I combine it all together to create a really holistic approach and modality for any of my clients. And one of my biggest philosophies in health is to keep it real, and in order to do that, it needs to be fad-free. So to keep health real, to give you sustainable results, to give you tangible things that you can do in your life that keep those results there for you, we need to break out of the diet culture BS. And that's what this is all about. As a little intro, I'm going to today give you a little bit of insight into why this is so important to me. And it is a little bit of my story, and it's like this much of my story, and why this is an important philosophy for me, right? So let's get into it. Let's just make it happen, and hopefully you get as much value out of it as I hope you do. So, fad-free zone, fad-free living. What does that even mean, right? What does that even mean? Essentially, what I'm all about and what I want to promote is health without the catch. There are so many diet pills and magic teas and blow up anti-aging juice mixes and fasting and keto and paleo and carnivore and raw carnivore and all these things that are just all around us. And so this is predominantly an issue for women, right? Yes, men are also involved, but out of this sort of, if you're looking at the numbers, the people who are Googling, how do I lose weight? The people who are looking for these diets, the people who are looking for these things, mostly women. And the trouble is, what they're finding is just another diet. It's just another fad. And the trouble with that is, yes, it might get you results in the short term, but mostly you end up on the rebound cycle. Now, I have not yet met a woman who has been on one of these diets who has not had a rebound cycle. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because it's that thing, right? You do a diet because you have a goal, and then you reach that goal, and then you go great, and you celebrate, and you're happy, and you're great, and then other things start creeping in because you loosen the reins a bit on the diet, and everything's still fine, and then one day you wake up and your pants don't fit you, and it always seems to happen just like overnight. And not only that, now you get regular headaches. This is the diet cycle. This is the fad cycle. And this is what I want to get you away from, because there is 100% way for you to release extra weight, to be healthy, and to keep those results and create a lifestyle out of it, rather than sitting there locked into this super strict little box and then going from one extreme to the next, cycle after cycle, right? My aim here as a practitioner even is about food as medicine, and it's about the least aggressive approach, right? So we start from the bottom and we work the way up. And food is there. Food is an ever-present thing in our lives. This is where we need to start, and this is where most of the education is lacking. So why is it such a big deal for me? So personally, and I'm going to go into the personal space before I even touch what I do as a practitioner and what I see, I have tried pretty much every diet out there. Before I did my degree, there was very little education for me, and I followed those protocols. I did teas and pills and magic mixes. I bounced from to diet. It was the low-fat diet back in the day. Oh, it still comes around though. I've done keto, I've done paleo, I've done versions of them. I've done a juice fast, I've gone vegetarian, I've gone pescatarian, I've gone vegan. I've done all these things in the name of seeking my ultimate goal weight or some sort of thing. And for the most part, I achieved results every time. So keto, for example, was pretty much the last diet that I went on. It was the one that sort of tipped the scales and I just went, right, no more. And I was super consistent with it and I was very, very good at it. Now, if you've ever been on keto or if you've read into it, there are things that the internet says like keto flu is normal and cramps are normal. And I didn't get any of those because I had a nutrition backing by then. Like I had a deeper understanding of nutrition and I did keto very well with amazing success. I released a lot of weight and it was all good for about 7 months. So after I sort of went into maintenance phase, about 7 months later, I woke up and it was not right. My cycles had changed. I now had excruciating pain where I never had pain before, incredibly heavy bleeding. I had headaches that came around. So now I'm in this migraine space that comes around in a cycle. I had crazy PMS symptoms and the weight came back, and slowly at first, and then one day I woke up and I was probably about a dress size up. None of my clothes fit me. I had that meltdown on the floor where you're trying to get dressed. I know you know the one. You're trying to get dressed and you're throwing clothes out and you're getting angrier and sadder and more disappointed all at one go. And I realized that I had gained all that previous weight back plus extra. Now, ladies, as we get older, our hormones change. And what we need to do to release weight and be healthy changes from what we did when we were 21. It's different. But I didn't take that into consideration and ultimately caused chaos in my hormones. And it resulted in a massive rebound weight where my short 162 centimeter self was almost 90 kilos. And that was the most that I have ever weighed, and it was the most disheartening that I had ever felt. But it did give me the ultimate motivation and momentum to do something different. So instead of going on my favorite diet, pick a card, whatever your favorite diet is, rather than going back to that, I went, right, I need to now go back to basics. I need to do something new and different to get different results. And it needs to be fad-free because it needs to be a lifestyle change, not just something that you whip out every now and then, every couple of months, right? The danger of that, can't even overstate it anymore, honestly. And that change has resulted in me releasing over 25 kilos, and I've kept it off for 12 months already, easily and effortlessly. There's no stress. Over the years, having gone through all these diets, what I noticed when I went back and I looked at journal entries and goals and things that I wrote down and things that I wanted to achieve or how I was feeling, I timelined all these crazy things that happened post-diet. And I'm going to share some of those with you, and I've shared some of those on my social media posts recently, so if you're not following along there, go check it out at Danny Furry Wellness. I'll pop it in the show notes. Some of the things that have happened, I ended up with major bloating. Like at one stage, I looked like I could be pregnant. I actually had someone comment once and congratulate me on my pregnancy, and I was single at the time, which really blew my mind. So major bloating. I've already dropped the information on the crazy hormones, the belly fat, oh my goodness, and the love handles that came around the sides that I could not shift no matter how much I gymmed, by the way. Doesn't matter how much you do, it don't work. The depression that came around which I suspect would probably have resulted from lots of deficiencies. The depression was intense. I've ended up with iron deficiency that comes around that I still actually deal with to this day. Something that I now have to nurture my body through so that it gets to a point where it is better. I ended up with a B12 deficiency, a vitamin D deficiency. I ended up with a thyroid problem for a very long time. My thyroid test results were not good, to the point where I was actually sent for an ultrasound to check on the actual structure of my thyroid. There's been a lot that's happened in the name of dieting, and I don't want anyone else to go through it. So when I'm on the internet and I'm looking at information, or people coming in to me going, hey, Danny, I need your help. I want to release weight. And this is the story that they're telling me, I want it to stop. This is my goal, to get this information out there, to bust the myths on so many of these diets and these protocols and these products that are being promoted by influencers that have no idea or qualification. I want to be that voice to help you make better decisions for your health so that you don't end up in the same space as what I did. I've made those mistakes for you, right? That's the point. So, this is just the little intro into what is coming. If you have any specific things you would like me to speak on, specific diets or products or things that you want me to talk about or give you advice on, pop it in the comments or send it through to me via DM. That would be amazing. And let's get this fad-free zone happening. Let's just create it as a movement and kick diet culture straight out the window and just walk into the age. Healthy, empowered women and people, just in general, who can be their healthiest, most amazing, empowered, great, energetic, sexy selves, free from the restriction of diet culture. That's the aim of this channel, this podcast. This is the ultimate goal. This is the mission. So, to get you thinking about this, I'm going to leave you with a little food for thought, right? I want you to think about your current diet. If you're on one, right? And even if you're not on a specific diet, whatever you're eating, I want you to look at that diet and imagine that you would have to be on that for forever. For the rest of your life, you couldn't eat another way. It was that diet. And if the thought of that gives you mad anxiety or makes you sad or you get some sort of a negative result, right? Then you are not on a long-lasting, sustainable plan. Then you are just on another fad. Think about that and then come on back and let's talk about it, right? This is only episode 1. So much more to come. I'm so excited. So, thanks for joining me on this little intro into the fad-free zone and what it's going to bring. And I will see you next time. Please share this, subscribe, comment, send it to someone who wants to be a bit more empowered about their nutrition and their health. Follow along on social media and let's get the word out and get this mission successfully out there. I'll see you next time.